anybody else hear that?
No.
Fuck, I did something.
32 days, 20 castaways, 4 co-hosts, and 1 podcast. Today we're going to look back at the first 5 days of Stranded in Tanzania with our first impressions podcast. I guess let's do a little roll call. Who else here with us? We have Joaquin.
How's it going, everybody?
I believe Hannah's with us.
You said 4. There's 5 of us.
Somebody's not going to talk.
Okay.
Tim, you there?
Danny's not talking.
I'm muted. It's the question.
Okay. And I believe Reem is here.
Physically, I am here.
All right. So what happened so far? We started off. I think Stranded Coin has been a success so far.
Yeah.
Stranded Coin has definitely carried the first few days when it's just been booting out the inactive.
Yeah, I think a double tribal is the way to go on these opening nights. So if you're in a future season, you'll probably look forward to that. I mean, it really drags ass over the opening weekend. So I think the more we can pack in terms of like twists and things that they can do, the more we can get out of them.
Yeah, I would say, yeah, in the grand scheme of things, like this will be a short cast just because interpersonally, there were some like entertaining things, but in the grand scheme of things, not a whole lot of like events in the first couple of days.
Yeah, we also didn't get, I think we have some standouts, but usually there's something that happens in the first few days that we're all screaming and laughing about. I think there were a few things, but for the most part, I think just a solid cast. We've had some good character developments. Let's go through. I guess we'll just start with whoever anyone wants to talk about first, and that way we'll get to the meat of the characters.
Do we want to do it by tribe, maybe?
Sure. Let's start with. I'm looking at the leaderboard, so let's start with Miombo, the Green Tribe.
Yeah, there's some players here. I would say the first name that comes to mind, at least for me, on Miombo is Dean in terms of like character development. Like he came out hot right out of the gate, writes the longest confessionals I have ever seen, and is like generally just like a pretty lovable guy.
Yeah, I'll second that. Dean was like a preseason favorite for me, and he exceeded what I thought he would. I thought he would just kind of be a fun-loving, devious player, but he's turned into like a really... It's almost like it's his... he's played Stranded several times.
Yeah, and considering that's his first game, period.
Yeah, is it his first game? He's not played other games?
When I contacted him, he asked me a lot of questions, and he said it was his first game.
Okay. I actually find that hard to believe. That's how intense Dean is on his first go.
He's at 60 posts already, and it's day, 3?
5.
5, but still, that's insane. He talks so much. He's so excited for this, and I love him.
Also, I think he has really good takes on like everything.
Yeah, Dean has really good perceptions.
Yeah, he's also really funny, so that helps. I think he fits right in. It's almost like I don't even know. He's like a whole new breed of player. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. Also on Miombo, I think Elizabeth and Tommy have been doing quite well and killing it.
Yeah, I was going to say we'll go over each of them, but they are the 2 oldest players this season at 36 and 38. Not super old, but in terms of this cast, they are. But also, I think that is benefiting them in maturity and the ability to kind of control how things are going. Particularly, I guess we'll start with Elizabeth because she's impressed me so much coming out of Isolated. It's not that I don't know that I guess I expected a lot from her personality. I didn't expect a whole lot from her gameplay, but she is super perceptive, not only of the people on her tribe, but of the people on the other tribe too. Without even without even having talked to them, she can kind of grasp who's working with who's the big threat. It's super impressive.
I think being able to like watch along the rest of the season with all the lurkers commenting on everything was a huge, like, I think she always had this, but she didn't know what to expect the first time going around. But then having gone through it once and listened to like everybody else's commentary on the gameplay, that tends to like help people a lot generally. So it doesn't really surprise me too much, but it's pretty wild to see. Tommy, I was going to say, because he reminds me a lot of Matt from last season, and it's not just because like the older thing, but I don't know. Mm-hmm. He gives me that kind of vibe.
Yeah, the one thing I would say, the biggest difference between him and Matt is that Matt was a little bit more happy-go-lucky, whereas I think Tommy is going to be a little bit more gameplay heavy.
No, the Tommy's more driven, but he would actively push getting what he wants out rather than Matt, who is just more on survival.
Right. I guess we'll shift to Tommy a little bit. I think Tommy's playing the best game so far. Aside from maybe him winning that first challenge, it probably wasn't the best move. I'm super impressed with him. I'm impressed that he was able to win that challenge, and by quite a bit, because he was kind of like asking how it worked before the challenge started. So I really expected him to like fumble tremendously on that, but he kind of killed it.
Didn't he do it on mobile too?
I don't know. That's probably somebody else, but if he did, that's incredible. I don't think that can't be him.
And he was like messaging you like, sorry if this is breaking protocol.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I this is a guy who follows the rules to the T.
Yeah, I was a little worried about Tommy in the beginning. He wasn't as active, but as soon as his stuff was done, he like popped in and it looks like he's kind of placed himself in a good position, regardless of his win.
Yeah. Some people on the tribe that have disappointed me. Obviously, Lauren, I could do without her. Elaine was someone that, she was a replacement, but we were still looking forward to him. To see he's ghosted is super disappointing. Glad he was the first boot, though. And then I think I'm also going to lump Karishma into the disappointment pile.
Drag him.
I just don't understand why he was active tonight and he was actually entertaining in his own messy way. We're talking about Karishma. I guess I should use she. But I don't know. I can't understand why she would wait a whole year, obsess over Stranded, finally get the chance to play and kind of shit it away. Like, really, if there was not an inactive on this tribe, she would be going home.
I mean, during Isolated at first, Karishma being day on was pretty inactive, was pretty close to going for a few votes, but she was just active enough to keep her. But I was just thinking, it was just her getting used to the boards and stuff and just getting used to playing. But now she's kind of the same thing, and I'm very confused.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was in the last podcast, or maybe it was just a chat, where I talked about, like, in the last rematches, Karishma was active, but it was more GOAT material, and then just sort of, whenever they didn't need him anymore, they voted him out. And I can see that happening here, too. I think if Miambo goes back to Tribal, I don't know if it's going to be Vince or Karishma going home. It could be either one, but if it's not Karishma this time, it'll be her next. I think Lauren, it's too late.
Do we think Lauren will go home over Karishma?
I haven't seen that much in the chat against Lauren. Like recently, it's been mostly Vince and Karishma. Lauren, they talked about yesterday.
Yeah, Vince is another one I'll lump into the disappointment pile, although I give him more of a pass because, we didn't expect much from Vince. However, I really think he has the potential to be an incredible character. So I'm hoping he can kind of eke it out and become what I want him to be. I don't know if that will happen, but he's super weird. I mean, like even his comments during Tribal and like his vote, they're just weird.
In a fun way. Keep that in mind.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, I'm here for it. I want him to go further because I'm enjoying watching the weirdest, but
Yeah. Vince and Karishma are people who I really think could be fun characters in the season if they just stepped it up a little bit. Well, Lauren, I just don't have hope for either way.
Yeah, I think we saw a little bit of Missy coaching Lauren in the last challenge, or I don't know. So maybe that's a time. Maybe Missy will push for Lauren to stay. I don't know.
I think Missy, if I recall correctly, was creating like a side alliance that included Lauren, and all these people started telling Missy how they didn't like Lauren. This was all yesterday, if I recall. Time is an illusion. But and then Missy immediately went to Lauren and was like, hey, when you talk to people, try to vibe with how they're talking.
Yeah, teaching her social skills. I don't know that that's the move. I think, cut your losses. Like, it's cool to have your +1 and someone you can control their vote, but if they're not going to be active, it's like, don't vote for them.
Especially in Survivor and Supposed Big Brother, where they can't just randomly win an HOH.
Yeah.
Danny just made a really good point. Lauren's in like 2 alliances, and even though she's in there minimally, that's helping her stay off the radar.
The thing with tomorrow as well is that it's an immunity and tribal council back to back. So if Karishma and Vince are both there competing and Lauren isn't, that's a very easy out reason.
Yeah, I mean, ideally we lose Lauren and probably Christian, although I wouldn't mind Christian staying if he's going to be active. I just don't know his activity level with his time zone. Before we get into that, let's talk about Missy a little bit. Missy's been great. I don't know where to go with this.
Missy is delivering on all the fronts that I have wanted her to deliver, and I'm living for it every freaking day. I agree with Danny. I am counting the minutes to her downfall. She is going to piss off the wrong person. She's already pretty blunt, and it's so great.
I feel like she wanted to keep those coins. At one point, she had the most coins and was supposed to distribute them, but she held on to them for a very long time.
Yeah, when we get to more coin dilemmas, I imagine she's going to have a lot more thoughts about that.
I don't think she gave Lauren her one coin yet, has she? I think she just gave it to Elizabeth.
Oh, well, there goes that alliance.
I don't think Lauren's even brought it up.
Yeah, Lauren hasn't been there to understand what's going on with coins.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think... I see potential in almost everyone except for Lauren, aside from the fact that she's rubbing people the wrong way like she did during our interview.
It sucks, though. Like, Lauren is such a great rep. And same thing with... We'll get to Christian, but I always hate when the good reps go to waste. But we shouldn't waste any of our more breath talking on her. The other people we haven't brought up yet are Jack, Aaron, and Chelsea.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're all kind of in the same place for me, where I think that they're delivering and they're playing solid games. They're just not the standout characters, but that's probably by design on their part.
Yeah, Aaron comes off super strategic. He's been making a lot of promises, like he's going to be this big villain that I want him to be. But I mean, it is still early, but right now he hasn't done anything for me, except he did throw that challenge, and Dean, it was Dean who was like, oh, that was so funny. He thought that he would have the leg up when, Aaron planned that whole thing out. So he's extremely strategic right now. He's just not doing anything for me.
I think we're going to get to know him better in a swap. I think right now he's laying low, which I don't blame him for.
And considering he just was on his honeymoon during most of this weekend.
Right.
That was Tommy.
That was a Tommy. Got the Scots confused.
Yeah. I think we should bring up Chelsea. I think Chelsea has surpassed my expectations. I think she killed that challenge. I kind of think she's killing the game. Chelsea's someone who I would be surprised if she goes out early. It would probably be like a swap fuck situation. But I do think she has some game behind her.
The only issue I see with Chelsea is she is spending a lot of time with Missy. And now she does know that Missy has the idol. But other people have noticed that Chelsea takes her time in responding to them when Missy is online. So they know that those two are together. Like, pretty much the entire tribe has sussed that.
So, I mean, Reem, you're one to talk. with your number ones that everyone knows about. You and Michelle. I think, I don't know. I don't think it's bad because they're both in a majority alliance. I think if they were like on the outs, people might be like, let's split them up. But I don't think that that'll come into play. And actually, it might benefit them to have like 2 votes, Yeah,
I think right now they're fine. I do think come a swap or I think they're both going to make merge, Missy and Chelsea together. And I think that's when it's going to become a problem.
I am impressed with Chelsea, though, I will say.
Yes.
I think she's going to go further than I thought she would. Let's talk about Jack real quick. Jack's confessionals are great. He doesn't have a whole lot to go on right now. And we're at a stage where there's so many people. I find myself overlooking him. I think as time goes by, he'll grow on us.
He's very positive.
Yeah. And I know, like, he's a stand-up comedian. He's very funny, or at least a comedy writer, something along those lines. He's very funny. I think his takes are going to be good. I just think right now is not the time where we're focused on Confessional Kings, Except unless you're Dean.
Yeah, except Dean.
Yeah, who, to be fair, has turned Confessional King into... He just lowered the bar for every Confessional King in the future.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, we're going to look at future seasons as like compared to Dean because his confessionals are amazing. I think that's all I can talk about on this tribe. Do we think this tribe is going to win immunity?
I hope not.
No, I don't.
No.
I don't think so either. They don't give me that vibe. They're a little too all over the place. I think The only good thing about them is that there's one big alliance with a lot of people on the outside of it, whereas the other tribe is a little more splintered, which makes them a lot more fun to follow.
Yeah, but I also want to keep all of them safe. I want all of them to make swap.
So let's go ahead and shift over to Nairi, our orange tribe. Who should we talk about first in this tribe?
I feel like we have to start off by talking about, well, the first kind of drama of the game was like that Black Widow alliance.
Yes.
On the first night where like all the girls teamed up and then like named a chat, the Black Widow Alliance, and everybody looked in the chat and was like, oh, so all the girls are teaming up.
Yeah. If you're going to start an all-female alliance, maybe don't name it after the most famous all-female alliance and then have it be public knowledge.
And then, yeah, I guess starting off with who was in that, it was like Jessica's idea. So like Jessica and Allison, and then Angelina and Kara were in it, but Kara was not. She's like, this is so fucking stupid. I'm not going to do this.
I love that. It's very on par with like her sex shaming in Isolated. It's very on brand for Kara. I really love all the people in that alliance, though. I think that is the meat of this tribe. There's so many. They're all so great. I guess I'll start with Jessica because she was my biggest surprise. I thought she would be inactive, to be frank. I did. And even if she was active, I thought she'd be boring. She was someone we casted, and I was like reluctant to cast. And little did we know, she's like insane.
Yeah, she's definitely important.
We saw her with the anime avatar and giving pretty straightforward answers, but she replied pretty fast to us. I don't know. I saw something in her. I just wasn't sure if she was going to be asked, and I'm glad she was.
Yeah, I kind of put her on the same level as Lauren, but she has delivered like I thought Lauren might, and Lauren has not. I think Jessica is hilarious. I think her takes are terrible, but I love that she's willing to go for it. She's a train wreck, a huge train wreck. We cannot lose her pre-merge.
Yeah, Jessica gives me big Jackie vibes from Korea.
Yes.
Like massive. God, I don't want to lose. She is definitely the driving force in that tribe right now.
Totally, completely. Yeah, she's the Stephanie from Morocco. She's the Jackie, a total train wreck. We can only hope she gets far enough. I don't think she'll go deep, but we can only hope.
So right now, winner pick.
Yeah. Are you asking or you're saying you're joking?
I'm saying your winner pick, Jessica. Why not?
Yeah, right.
No, those people never last long in Stranded.
She's way too opinionated and forceful for it to last that long.
Well, what helps, I think, is I don't see my counterpart on that tribe yet, so I don't think there's anybody who's going to flip on her pre-swap.
In Jessica's alliance, there are two other women who I think would also be train wreck standouts, except they're on a tribe with Jessica, and that's Allison and Angelina. We'll start with Allison because we have a lot to say about Angelina. Allison has been surprising in that I did not know how bitchy and aggressive she would play. I kind of thought she would just be a very smart, under the radar player. That is not the case.
Yeah, Allison, preseason, she was the one, she didn't even know who Allison was, right? The people who don't even like watch the seasons, that they're very like hit or miss generally. There's nobody there that's generally, I like Allison a lot. I think there's potential there, and I think she's going to outlast Jessica for sure.
Yeah, I think her and Jessica together is an insane combination. They kind of like feed off each other. I think Jessica fuels Allison's paranoid side and also like her negative side. It's pretty interesting. I forgot who she was targeting. I think it might have been Kara or Angelina, but she had already started like turning on people in her alliance and bitching with Jessica about them. I believe it was about Angelina. Let's go ahead and talk about Angelina a little bit. Angelina's great. She's super hilarious. I thought when she flat out told Lyrsa and Christian to get online, I thought a lot of people thought that was hilarious and a lot of people thought that was insane.
Yeah, some people are taking it as pushy. The people in her alliance are taking it as pushy.
That's
people
the crazy part.
On the outside are like, oh my God, I love how bold she is.
Yeah, I think Angelina would do well to kind of get out of that alliance.
I agree.
She's killing it so far. I think she'll at least make merge because at this rate, and she did really well in the challenge, and that's like the first time she's ever done anything like that.
Yeah, her time was insane. She beat everybody in that, and she's never watched Survivor. The only thing she knows about Stranded is what I've bitched about. So, like,
she's a coder though, correct?
She does code, yes.
Yeah, so that definitely will benefit her in this challenge and probably future challenges. Yeah, very impressed with Angelina. She also got the most coins, I believe. She gets 7 in that first challenge.
Yeah, and she did distribute her, and she got 5 for winning the that last challenge.
Yeah, I think Angelina stands a great chance. I just think she needs to watch out for rubbing people the wrong way who are in control. I think that's going to be a recurring theme for her. I hope it doesn't get her into too much trouble.
I forget. Wait, Reem, do Angelina and Missy know each other, or are you just a soul connection?
No, they are 2 separate people from 2 separate points of my life. I don't even think they have mutual friends, actually, except AJ.
Let's talk about the 4th person in that Black Widow Alliance, Kara, who I think is playing the best game on that tribe. I think she's just where she needs to be. She's not bought into this alliance. She's kind of looking outside of it. She won the immunity. I think she's been super likable. I think this is a total 180 from what we saw in Isolated. And I think she's poised to go very deep.
She just made a group chat alliance called James Dean with the password 1989, fitting the Taylor Swift theme that she loves so much. It's with Jessica, John. I think she invited Nick in there. There's Nick. Okay. And maybe there's one other in there, but she's just kind of forming relationships with people pretty easily. I mean, as we've kind of seen before, but doing really well here.
Yeah, I think she learned her mistake of being too under the radar at the beginning, and now she's being more social.
She also knows what to look out for. She's had pretty good reads, like some of the other players. We haven't gotten to John yet, but the humor first, underestimate me. I mean, he said he was going to shtick, but she noticed that right away. Her reads are pretty good. I disagree that I don't think she's playing the best she's up there though. I personally, I think Carl's the best on this trap so far, but
I agree with that. I think she's doing what Angelina should do, and she's making side paths with people, and she's getting in good with multiple. She's set up really well for a swap.
Yeah, and I think that's something that comes from her failures in Isolated. I think she's learned, I need to talk to everybody, not just a handful of people that I like. Let's go ahead and shift to, let's talk about John. John's my winner pick. I think John will do very well in this game. I think he's the most experienced, so he knows kind of what to do. What is everyone else's impression of John so far?
I like John, and I think a lot of the people on his tribe like him. He's found himself in multiple side deals as well. And I think many of them are with Kara, if I remember correctly. I think they're in 2 group chats together. Is that right? No?
They're at least in one that I just mentioned, but maybe another.
Yeah, I know he and Kara have been talking a lot the last 2 days.
I think John is getting a kick out of how social this game is. And, I think he's from a world where having the biggest personality would just mean you get voted off, and he's cool with that. But I think in Stranded, because it's so personal, having a big personality only benefits you. Unless you're Karishma.
No, but Karishma doesn't have any personality this season. Her personality is doing drugs.
She had some personality tonight.
Personality of getting 10 posts.
Yeah, that was hilarious, by the way. Everyone rooting for her to get 10 posts and then her Bumble fucking her way through it. Never a good thing. So let's talk about Carl. I think Carl was another person who I didn't expect much from, but he has come out swinging both activity-wise, challenge-wise. He's very, very into the game, and I think that will benefit him.
He's who I think of first when I think of this Nayuri tribe, even though I mean, we know some of these people from other things. I don't know. He has just been the most present to me.
Mm-hmm.
And he's social. He's in with everybody. And it's another, how we were just talking about how John, the big personality doesn't hurt you. It doesn't matter here if you're talking to everybody and everybody likes you. That's not seen as threatening.
Right. Yeah, I think at this stage, being active and present only benefits you. So Carl is definitely the person I feel cares the most about this game. I really think he is loving aside from Dean, I think he's loving every second of it.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, I absolutely adore Carl. Everybody loves him. I love him, and I'm not even playing with him, but I would work with him. He's so personable, and he's good in challenges. He wasn't a slack. I think he's going to do well.
I feel like Carl is that rare case where you can be just likable and around, but not boring. Susie had that. Jordan had that. It's hard to pull that off. But if you care enough and you're a likable person, I think Carl is that. So let's go ahead and talk about the opposite of that, Dan. Dan gives off supervillain vibes for sure. Him getting frustrated at me during the challenge for the wording, even though absolutely no one else was confused on it.
Amazing.
Made me very happy. I mean, you would think it would annoy me, but I love when that happens. I think it makes someone into a huge douchebag to everyone and starts their villain arc, and I'm here for it.
We love our douchebags.
Yeah, he is very much that role to me. I don't know how he is activity-wise. I've seen him around a lot, but I haven't noticed him, I guess I'd say. Is he active? I'm not sure.
He is. He's been talking with, I want to say he was talking to Kara as well. And Nick. I think it was Nick and Kara. I don't remember.
He's pretty middle of the pack.
Yeah, I mean, him, Davey, even Nick are kind of middle of the pack here.
Nick, okay, wait, real quick. Nick is hilarious to me. He writes a lot, but not in the way that Dean does, where he'll just kind of like go on, like his voting confessional tonight was hilarious, where he just like was going off on being inactive. And it's like, come on, man.
I'm pulling it up now. Yeah, I mean, the good thing about Nick is he's super strategic and he really cares. And I think he's got some extra spunk to him. It's just like right now, there's not a whole lot he's doing in the game.
He's in a tribe with some of the biggest personalities we have.
Yeah, like it's hard when there's tribes of 11. It's hard when there's like a big group of middle of the road people because we don't get a good sense of their personality. I think once we split into tribes of 6, we're really going to see some of these people pop. And I think Nick's one of those people.
Let me just read off from his confessional, like his perception of everybody. Great relationship. Carl, John, Kara, really haven't spoken strategy. Allison, Davey, Jessica, annoyed, and I think is kind of dumb. Angelina, Dan, going home, waste of air, Christian, Lyrsa. So I think it's kind of dumb. It's kind of funny.
Speaking of Christian, I loved Kara's confessional where she's like, I love the little French boy. I wish he would stick around more. I thought that was adorable. And I would be here for a Kara Christian alliance if Christian would show up. I mean, he showed up tonight. He showed up Sunday. It's just like he just shows up for the challenges and then bounces.
Yeah, when people talk to him, they generally, but if he's not here, it's not going to last long. I think he saved himself tonight.
Yeah, he's definitely next up on the block. What do we talk about Davey? There's not much for me to say about Davey.
Yeah, Davey fits into a lot of things that Nick fits into.
Right.
I'm excited to see Davey's video confessional. I'll say that.
Yeah, I think Davey, Dan, Nick, maybe even Carl a little bit are people that we'll see in a swap shine. But right now, it's like it's kind of hard to pinpoint something that they've done.
In general, the Miambo tribe has the like more all-star standouts so far, but more like complete non-entities. And then this tribe, there's more just like everybody's middle of the road.
Yeah, it's hard to say. There are people on Miambo that I want to become big characters, maybe more than they actually will be. So in that sense, like maybe they should lose more than Nairi. What do we think of the game so far? I think so far I've enjoyed the cast. It's totally different than most seasons in that they're kind of all just solid players. You know, I mean, obviously there are some that are worse than others, but normally at this point, you know, we get like huge characters that stand out and that's all we can talk about. That's not kind of this cast. This cast has been playing very strategically, they've taken their time. Let's put it that way.
Like when the inactives kind of get out of here and get voted out, or like the elected people get voted out, I have no idea who would go next. And I'm excited to see the drama.
Yeah, I really think this is going to be more of a strategic season than it will be a dramatic season. I could be totally wrong. I mean, we do have like Karishma, Missy, Angelina, Allison, Jessica. But for the most part, I think everyone kind of has a pretty good sense of how the game is played. So I think that could be really fun, especially in a swap situation.
Yeah, especially I think Tribes of 6 would really be good fun with this cast because you have in the Tribe of 6 where everyone has to be a lot more active, a lot more aggressive and getting their way across. I think these players will really step up to that.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of set up in a similar way to Pharaoh with the 2 big tribes that split into small tribes. And that season didn't pick up until they swapped. So, and of course, it went on to be like one of the best seasons. So maybe we'll see that again. I don't know.
To be fair, I wasn't put into Pharaoh until we swapped.
Oh, yeah. You're saying you're the reason why it was great.
Yeah. Well, to be fair with Pharaoh, it was only the first weekend, which wasn't the original tribes.
Yeah, I just think this is a solid group. I think this is not a group that will go quietly, which will be good because after these next 2 boots, I think that everyone else will be active. So
Yes, I think right now they're all kind of settled into like this honeymoon phase, and they all know not going to be this way forever. But right now, it's such short-sightedness that this is what they see. And once that dead weight goes, I think the game is going to be on.
yeah, is Angelina messaging you through Stranded right now?
Messaging me?
Well, somebody's getting Stranded dings.
No, I have mine turned off.
Yeah, I'm hearing that too. Somebody's getting dinged in the Stranded chat.
Not me.
Yeah, not me. Give me my Facebook.
Anyway,
I just checked to see something.
Oh, well, Reem, are you reading out what Angelina sent you?
Danny said, Pootie, talk about how Tommy discovered the swap tribe on the forums. I don't want to do that. That's kind of a failure on my part. So Tommy discovered the groups. So he knows about the Peroto tribe. I'm not even sure how.
Potato.
What?
We're swapping in the 3 tribe. That's the 3rd one.
Yeah. He discovered that there is a 3rd tribe name out there. I don't even know how. I can't. But anyway, he knows something's coming. He kind of sussed out like when we'll swap. I mean, it's not like it was rocket science, though.
I guess idols to talk about. Both the idols got 1 clued. Me and Tim probably. We did our first pass at them and we were like, oh, these are too hard. Let's make them a little easier, and then maybe overdid it. But yeah, so Missy has 1. And then who was the other one again?
John, I think, has the other one.
Yeah, John.
Yeah, so we've got 2 idols in play already.
Yeah, and I'm really happy with who found them, too. I think they'll both be entertaining. I love that John is like, I hate idols. I might just not play it.
Why would you spend so much time looking for one?
I don't know. Well, he says he is happy he knows where it is so that it can't be played and fuck up his game. We'll see what he says when he gets on a swap tribe. I feel like
I can't wait for John to find 4 idols and be like, you know what? I refuse to play it. I know I'm being voted out.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
I think out of our 2 idol hoarders, I think John has the better chance to play it correctly.
Shading your own friend. Yeah, I'd probably agree. Although I think there's a better chance Missy actually plays her idol. I'm kind of hoping she answers it.
I think as soon as Missy starts playing or feeling that paranoia,
she's going to tell the wrong person.
I was going to say, what are the chances that she doesn't tell anyone?
No, she's absolutely going to tell people.
She's already told Chelsea, like within
Oh, well, there you go.
12 hours.
There you go. Yeah, that's not shocking.
So yeah, I think eventually everyone's going to know, or she's going to end up playing it and not needing to, and everyone's going to be pissed because didn't tell them about the idol. It's going to be a clusterfuck, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, these idols they're only good to the merge. It's an important distinction. And I think they're going to come out first night of that swap when the tribes have to go to council and it's 3 versus 3. But we'll see. I think that's all I have to talk about right now. What's the money situation? Let's see. Richest is Chelsea at 18, followed by Nick at 17.
Want to, I guess, preview some of the goodies that can be purchased?
Yeah. So we will do one of the fun things. We used to do this in Stranded all the time, and we're bringing it back with Stranded Coin. You used to be able to receive a clue to the idol in exchange for giving your tribe a disadvantage, and it would be anonymous. We're going to bring that back, but this time, instead of a clue, you get some Stranded Coin in exchange for giving your tribe a disadvantage. It will be anonymous, but the tribe will be aware that people have taken that offer. Also, we have so much coming up. I wish Levita was here to help me preview what's going to be purchased.
Oh, we can skip.
That I do know we have the ability to choose your swap tribe, I believe is one of the purchases.
Which that's fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's also the challenge, which is just going to be who pay to win.
Yes. So before the merge, that's going to be the big final challenge where the tribe who forfeits the most coin cumulatively wins immunity. We have some fun things with the public idol. I believe we're going to do a live auction for the public immunity idol this season with coin. I think it's going to be a silent auction too.
Oh, yeah.
And that's also going to be on a round where they do an instant merge straight into council. So they'll be told it's a merge. There'll be 14 of them at a live council between 3 tribes, and they'll have a public idol up for grabs that they can bid on. And that will be a lot of fun. I'm really excited. I think Stranded Coin has been amazing. I think it's fun to be able to kind of throw some things in there, something for them to do, talk about, barter. I think the first challenge was amazing. Tim and Levita and I brainstormed that based on some other shows, and that's what we came up with. And I think that was a great way to introduce Stranded Coin into Stranded.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with just how in general, it's adding but not kind of like taking away from the experience. Whereas like I felt sometimes on the show, at least with like the fire token, they're just like, oh, how many advantages can we throw in there? And it didn't add things at times. Whereas I feel like this is just like adding drama to things that already had drama.
Yeah.
I had decided, we talked a lot, and, you know, we'll probably play with it in the future. Before we started, we talked about, you know, maybe it's a shop that they buy into and they can only, you know, they have to bid on certain items, or you know, we did all kinds of scenarios. And I think what I landed on was that I don't want it to be too different from how we do everything normally. I just wanted to add another layer to it. So for instance, you know, you have to buy clues now instead of, you know, buying an idol. I don't think that you should be able to buy something of that magnitude. I think, you know, if you're going to find an extra vote, I think you find the extra vote and then you have to buy it, or you have the opportunity to buy it, instead of like, you know, whoever has the most money can buy it at any time. I think that that's a little, it takes away the fun of finding things, you know, earning them.
And nobody can buy their way back into the game because
no, we're not doing that bullshit.
That's dumb. Good.
Yeah, we're not, you know, nobody from the outside is influencing the game by bribing people, you know, nothing like that. It's going to be.
Yeah. It creates an artificial limit to how many advantages one person can get.
Yeah. And, you know, Strain has never been a huge advantage series anyway. You know, we've added more over time, but I like to keep it kind of tight on that. And I think even though we have Stranded Coin, it doesn't mean we need all these items that they can buy. It just means we get to be creative in how they spend the money and what that affords them.
Right.
So that is it. I think that's going to do it. I'm excited about this cast, and we look forward to how this week finishes up. So, out.
Good stuff.